What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another edition of Holy Tri Football Podcast. It's Championship Week preview. It's me, AY County, from the People's State Capital of Blue State, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. To my west, D-Berg, what's up?
In the words of the great Jim Lampley, when George Foreman knocked down and knocked out Michael Moore, it happened. Pitt football has done the unthinkable and won less than 5 or 6 games in this season.
Well, we knew that going into we knew that going into this game, didn't we? Oh
yeah, I had to do the grand. You never know. Teams could have forfeited. You never know.
That's true. I'm saying you said they've won less than 4 or 5 games this year.
Yeah, for the first time since 1998.
But I'm saying we knew that going in. You won 3 games. You could
but the season's final. It's finally over now.
But you could have maximum won 4 going into that. You could have said this last week.
Yeah, no. I was waiting for the season to end to do my Jim Lampley line. I've had it teed up for a month.
Okay.
Check that out if you've never seen it. Remarkable stuff from Big George Foreman.
Big George.
He doesn't just sell grills. To you kids. Can to my east, what's up?
Oh, shivering, quivering. It is soup season, ramen season, noodles. It's hot liquid season out there. It's your mulled wines, your ciders. It's chilly. Stay warm. Stay warm, everybody.
It is chilly. Chilly. It was windy.
Chilly season. It's chilly season, if you will.
Yep. Yeah.
Now is a chilly season, Dan. I know you were not happy with the chilly kickoff a little early a few months
ago.
That
was premature, but sure. There could be chilly at any point in the year if you go to Wendy's. So
that's true.
Yeah, we are closing out Noir-vember or Movember, depending on which college went back. Actually, Noir-vember is not really a college; it's just a fad of sorts. But we are championship week.
Thank you.
A lot going on. We have the Heisman coming up in a week or so, 2 weeks. The CFP, we'll know that this weekend. We'll know bowl games this weekend. And more importantly, the portal's open.
Portal's open. The real sell season.
This is going to be one of the most overrated things 5 years.
Oh, my God.
Looking 5 years in the rear view.
Could be.
But
it's new and it's fresh, and it's the Wild Wild West.
It's amazing. Seeing everybody jump in there. It's crazy. It's weird to think about, I feel like. I don't know. I don't like it, But I like the actual thing of it. The sell is the excitement. I get excited about ancillary things going around aside from the games. But the actual, seeing all these random guys just go in the portal, guys you never heard of, a couple that you had seen play a couple of snaps. It's just awkward, weird. I feel like who needs to announce this? You didn't even know your name.
Yep.
Thought about your name like 2 minutes, 2 minutes ago. But
that doesn't stop the hysteria, though.
No, it doesn't. What for everyone, for every 9 of those or 10 of those no-name guys that are in the portal, you got a Lenhard, you got a Grayson McCall,
a Jamie Newman,
Will Howard, Van Dyke. You got a Macklin. You got all kinds of guys.
Not Jeremy Macklin, though.
Was it Jarmori? What do you think is
Jamori Macklin?
There's no first R. There's only the last R.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of ridiculous. I think it is. I like them. I like it because at least of the bigger name guys, we know of them. It's kind of the free agency of sorts. But I don't like seeing guys go to their third school.
Yeah, that's weird.
I much prefer you get a one-time transfer.
Yeah,
which I think is fine.
Probably new way of parenting.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it is the new. People don't work for it. We were too old school or whatnot. But Brad Johnson's kid, Max Johnson, on to his third school now, right? From LSU to Texas A&M, now headed to Mac in North Carolina.
Emmitt Smith's kid in the portal.
Yeah, Evan Stewart in the portal. Yeah, we knew that was coming though.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, it's just the beginning, but there'll be more.
There'll be more. There'll be more. Great stuff. What rivalry week did you guys throw the records out?
I feel like I threw a lot of them out, and
Sporadically.
it didn't pan out in my picks.
I'm just pissed about the Beavs. That last touchdown before, it was the walls. It was like the what the hell is that? Like a compressor in the one Star Wars movie.
Oh,
Lanning was ready. He was ready if they could have
Yeah.
mustered a drive coming out of the halftime there. The Beavs. He was ready to start going for it on like 4th and 6 from zone 39.
It's good that the screen froze right on you doing the compression.
It is good.
Very good.
Oh yeah, I'll disappear.
You have to check it out here
on the rewatch.
On the rewatch, right? But we lost him. That was disappointing on Friday night. What was not disappointing on Friday night was the other blowout that was going on in Detroit. I was happy to see that.
True.
If you're a Penn State fan. And then Texas. I mean, it was 3 blowouts on Friday night. Texas took care of business with Tech. Good trollage of the Big 12 commissioner. I want to say Yankovic, but that's not his name. What's his name?
Bruce Bowlesby.
No, not Bowlesby either. It starts with a Y, doesn't it?
I don't remember. I feel like I didn't know this. Can't think of it.
I know.
Mike Yurcich.
Not your chick. Big 12. Brett Yormack. That's right. Good trollage of him after their win. Nothing really, I think, to take of that. I could jump right in the Penn State recap there. It's good to. I mean, they were feeding Nick Singleton on the final 2 drives of the game up 42 points. He's trying to get him over 100 yards. He hasn't done it all year. But you can see it's. I mean, the big news coming out of that game, Aller and Singleton both affirming that they aren't going anywhere. They're committed to the program, and that they'll be back next year, which is good. Good news.
Okay, good. Yeah. I was worried they might.
I was worried about Singleton going after the Michigan game.
Singleton? Yeah, I mean, that's.
Yeah, I was like, was that?
I mean, that's more disposable. He's not not disposable. What's the hell's the word? He's dispensable.
Dispensable. Dispensable, true, but it's more so would not have been very good from an optics perspective to the Gatorade High School Player of the Year coming out of Pennsylvania comes 5-star running back and has a great year and then just absolutely tanks the second year and then the transfers out. That's not a good look. If you're a Penn State fan, just from an optics standpoint. Obviously, that's all they've got these days because they can't do too much else but optics. But the game on Saturday at high noon, Michigan, Ohio State, that certainly delivered. What's the sentiment in and around the Buckeye State, Dan?
Well, I think AY got more action from the Buckeyes fans than I did this week. More discussed. Obviously, I wasn't around some of them this time last year whenever the calls for Ryan Day's head were abound. And this time it's more like, we weren't a playoff team. So I don't know if there'll be as much pillar pushing come Saturday, well, Friday and Saturday. Potentially, I mean, sure we may discuss it as, we'll weave it throughout the conversation when we pick the games, but I don't know that there's going to be as much motivation to pillar push. And I mean, I know it has to be hard. I cannot put myself in their shoes. I don't know what that feels like to only care about one game, but.
Oh, you don't care about the Penn State games when you guys play us?
No, because there are no stakes. There are no actual stakes attached to this. I just can't imagine being upset and wanting a head coach fired for having the record he has and really being going to one national championship in a weird time and then being as close as you can be 2 other times in his not so long tenure. So I just it's perplexing people that want him to fire, but
hey, they've run
results
one
matter. Results matter, and
results do matter.
It'll be interesting to see if they, obviously it's going to be the stakes attached to the game. Presumably will be diluted once we go to the 12-team playoff. But I'll be interested to see if they do actually break through and win it off in a year they also happen to lose to Michigan, which, frankly, the way things are going, I wouldn't forecast too many losses to Michigan at this point.
Yeah.
But I would be interested to see how the reaction would be. And we almost had it last year, so
yeah.
They
fully loaded up. Michigan isn't expecting to. I mean, they're supposed to lose like 18 freaking draft picks or whatever.
Well, it's more.
Jim may not be there. Harbalder may not be there either. Yeah,
that was the main thing.
Yeah, sure.
Ends up going. So
they certainly seem to have the guy to carry the torch though with Cryan Sharon.
Oh gosh, yeah. To simplify the cliff notes, the TLDR, if you will, of your initial question, subdued.
Yep. What were your guys' reactions from watching the game? It was very evenly matched. I thought it was a good game.
Classic.
Rutgers Penn State Classic.
I think it would. I have even surpassed Rutgers Penn State. I'll have to rewatch it and see.
You're right.
You can't get any. You can't. I need to put my face up.
Well played, cranked up intensity. The difference was just a couple of plays here and there. You had the pick down inside the 10 or whatnot that McCord threw that led to the first touchdown. And then a decision there, a couple of third and ones that they decided to punt or go for that field goal at the end of the half.
That was the one where I'm like, Is Pat Narduzzi infiltrated the sidelines? Is he taking the chopper from Durham? He did pretty much that same thing against Syracuse. He ran like a 6-minute drive to kick a game-tying 48-yard field goal. So,
and I know that it's fueled because they obviously don't have the talent at quarterback this year as they've had in years past. But it's like the Lou Holtz comments and everything's gone to Ryan Day's head where he has to play the Michigan's game, and he can't beat him at Michigan's game. He can't beat him. It feels like he coaches way differently against Michigan than he does against every other team. Right.
But I remember calling him out for the game plan against Penn State. I felt that because of what Michigan did to Penn State last year,
Right.
What Michigan had done to Penn State, he's like playing this game within the game and trying to run through Penn State as well. That's definitely influenced him. Whether he, I think he realized.
I'm sure he wouldn't admit it or not. Yeah, he definitely would not admit it, but I think it does subconsciously. Even maybe he doesn't. Maybe he may not even realize that it affects him. Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I've talked too much already, though. My long answer.
That was a classic, and then. Oh, AY, did you have any items on the game?
It was a great game, a lot of fun. Like Daniel, I thought McCord would be the difference in the wrong way. I don't want to put it all on him.
Yeah, I thought
that was the play, though. I think you can't deny the play and then the non-interception. I thought that was
I mean
something.
He settled in. He had some nice throws there in the second and third quarters.
He did. The drive Ohio State had in the third quarter was it late third, where they ran the ball.
Oh yeah, like 7 straight times.
They ran every play. That was
where they ran it to tie the game of 17-17.
Yeah, Day had to feel so good about that.
Oh man, he must have thought this game's over.
He must have tucked it up in his waistband. And
oh yeah.
he was
like, "Look, Danny, I can do it. I can run the ball."
He was so happy at that moment.
And then Zinter goes out the next drive, and you're thinking, what's Michigan gonna do here?
Yeah.
And they punch it right in.
They rallied. It was a good game. Really enjoyed it. And I guess going back to the beginning of this, the whole Ryan Day, 56-7 record.
It's ridiculous.
Like, what are we doing? Anyone who says get him out of here, like you should like just ban them from the fan base. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, Ohio State is just at a heightened level of Penn State now.
They're just so freaking spoiled. Like, God.
Is that what was that what people feel about Penn State fans when they complain about not beating Michigan and Ohio State? Now Ohio State's just.
I think you're right too, but
now Ohio State fans are just complaining about not being able to beat Michigan. Just can't get over the hump. I feel the same.
I mean, again, I cannot stress that how close they were to winning it all last year.
Yeah.
They were right there. They had it. And it was on a tee in the third quarter, even in the fourth quarter. So
yeah, they were up 14.
If they had got dusted by Georgia and say, Clemson beats them by 2 touchdowns in 2019, then it's like
you're saying
you still beat them in 2020. I mean, would they be calling it like the Mickey Mouse national championship appearance, like they do with LeBron winning in the bubble? I don't know, but I mean, I know
they didn't beat him in 2020 though, right?
What's that?
They didn't beat him in 2020. Ryan's only beat him in 2019.
They beat Clemson though.
Oh, right.
I'm just talking about all the other things outside of it.
Yeah.
That he still accomplished. So.
I guess in the future, I do hope because Ohio State is loaded. When they do win their next title, whether it's next year, 5 years, whatever, I hope the year they win it, they lose to Michigan. Just so there's that little asterisk, that little bit hanging over their head.
Oh, it's a lot of it.
I'm thinking, if they are, they'll probably there's those years they'll have to play Michigan 3 times. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They'll play them at the end of the year, then they'll play them literally a week later, and then they might play them another 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Could happen. 2 for sure could happen. 3 could, yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, I hope, and I hope the year they do win it, they don't beat Michigan in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or don't get that revenge.
Well, they won't be able to win it if they don't beat Michigan in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope they lose to them in the regular season
and don't get to play them again.
Or Michigan team. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be hilarious.
Ohio State goes 15-1, loses to 8-5 Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
I feel like that would have been the game of the day had it not been for the Iron Bowl, which perennially, or not perennially, but very, very regularly is extremely tightly contested, despite one side being having a bad record. That was the case again this year, coming off the loss to New Mexico State. And I mean, you remember a couple years ago, Harson's first year, same thing happened, right? They went to 4 overtimes. Some voodoo and Jordan Hare, amazing, absolutely incredible to see.
Some weird things happened there.
Alabama
2021
tried.
game too. 2021 wasn't a juggernaut of an Auburn team.
No. They just don't. I feel like Alabama tried everything in their power not to win this game. I don't know how Auburn didn't win it. And yet they didn't. 4th and 31. Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely remarkable.
I audibly exclaimed at a quiet gathering. Great game.
I believe Andrew and I had audibles as well.
Yeah.
I was playing euchre and the game was not on. There will be there will be no further comments on that.
Wow.
Yes.
So when did you see the play?
3 hours later.
Oh.
I mean, there will be no further comment.
No further comment. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good game by both teams. Alabama kept fighting. They They got the miracle with the muff punt, and then obviously the second miracle after on fourth down. Absolutely amazing. Hugh, I mean, obviously you'll know that the Auburn team will pour everything they have into that game every year. But Hugh has had proven track record against Nick, so I am excited to see where this rivalry will continue to go from here on out. Going down the list here, Washington Wazoo, yet another close game for Washington.
Oh, man, yeah.
I think Dan will be pouncing all over the 9.5 points that we've got coming up here. But
I don't know about pouncing is not the right word. Emotionally, cheering. I'll be emotionally pouncing on that because if nothing else, the search for validation continues.
Well, Washington already validating you, I think. The first team in the playoff.
They did it last year. That was the thing last year when they were. This year they had the bells and whistles back for the most part. Last year coming out the way they did and getting jobbed in that Pac-12 tiebreaker.
I think this is the first year. They said it was the first time in the Pac-12 era that a team's gone undefeated in conference play.
It
was at least a playoff era. It's at least a playoff era. I'm not sure if it was the Pac-12 era because I don't remember when they became the Pac-12.
Well, they didn't. How many years before the playoff did they even have the championship game? 1 or 2?
That's why I don't remember.
It's not that. It's the.
I know it's at least the playoff era, if not maybe even the entire Pac-12 era that they have gone undefeated and
Washington. Right. So they had. That's correct. Yep, 2011. So the entire Pac-12 era. You're right.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good game there. I don't know how they pulled that out. They were throwing the ball. They had the 4th and 1 that they converted that would have given the ball in Washington State, and then the dropped interception at the end too. I'm assuming you didn't see any of this game either, Dan, because it was at the same time basically.
Just keep rubbing it in. Yep.
Yeah. Great game there. And then Florida State. Did you check this one out?
That one I saw. I was live texting for that one.
Yep.
Down the stretch. I missed I missed the crummy part for Florida State, I suppose.
I thought it was over when they went up 12-0. But credit to Florida State coming back, only giving up 1 field goal the rest of the way. I think when they went like 24-15 or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't love that they did cover. I didn't love that. Felt like an undeserved. Yeah. We all deserved.
Very undeserved. All I'm gonna remember from that game is that double hit on Rodemaker.
Yeah.
He got absolutely dismantled and then came back a few plays later. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And don't forget, as was called out by us, why were they letting that backup do things?
Yes.
That let him throw a pass on his first snap, and then they let him run the ball on the second snap.
Amazing.
Silly.
That's
not landing level, but that's like you're flirting with stupidity.
Yep.
Anything
Otherwise, I mentioned some of the Penn State game. Do you guys want to talk about any of your games?
No, just that the season mercifully came to an end. Miserable year, obviously, and I think I said before, large blame pie to equally be shared. And Frank Cignetti was fired in the middle of the Steeler game. As I couldn't say it better myself. The text I sent you guys Monday morning, I heard Double M talking about it, and just, I mean, they could have announced it. I don't think you need to leave the guy on the tarmac, but Saturday evening, first thing Sunday morning, to do it 20 minutes into the Steeler game, just brutal. For the game itself, I thought they might come back and win it a couple different times, but did something stupid, of course. So we had the breakthrough analytics, Pat Narduzzi.
Oh yeah,
that was interesting.
The punt, the interception down there was funny.
Yep. Although I didn't realize it in real time, but the intended receiver got picked or ran into the ref on that play. I don't know which was what, but maybe it was an inside job for the Dukies, greasing the skids for the zebra down there to run into some pit receivers. But that at least explains it. Otherwise, it was nonetheless, it was funny to look at. As was most of this Pitt football season. There you go. That's the last of Pitt for the year for me.
You're happy to be. It's over.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I don't really know, other than obviously when they won the ACC a couple years ago. I'm trying to think when I wasn't happy it was over. Because either disappointment or just grossness. Most of the years, felt like they could have squeezed out a couple more wins, or.
I mean, 2016. I mean, you're saying aside from
like the 2016 stands out.
2016 was a good season. You guys had a good.
In 2018, they at least went to the ACC championship. As much of a mismatch that was.
That was the 7-7 year or whatever.
That was they finished 7-7. Yeah, because they. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that, but that was interesting. So I guess at this point I wasn't happy. I was I was happy about the weather in Charlotte, even though it rained the whole time. And then 2016 they could have won a couple more games. Obviously, really the only time there was only one game they lost by double digits, and even that was in the balance, at least in the third quarter. 2019 when they came back and I think they had to win their last 2 or 3 games, and they lost that game to Virginia Tech 28-0. I was like, get this team. That was when, and then they had the dog fight with Eastern Michigan in the bowl game. That was brutal. The COVID year was whatever. That was a throwaway. 2017, that was when they beat Miami. Just when I thought I was out, Ken got me talking more about Pitt. now that is the rest of the Pitt. That concludes the Pitt talk for the season.
That concludes it. AY, any thoughts on your Stanford shellacking?
Other than Angeli.
No, I'll use this time to recap a few other games that I watched. I took in a lot of football this weekend. I think we should note, well, actually off the top, how Time's a Flat Circle with Petrino coming back.
Very good. Very good.
What week will he take over as interim head coach next season? That's the question.
Oh, my goodness.
I cannot wait.
Because that's going to happen. From Friday, Iowa, Nebraska, incredible. The late game antics there was absolutely outstanding. And then Saturday,
that got bounced in favor of Penn State Butler, where I was.
No, Penn State. Oh yeah, Penn State Butler was playing at that time. Yes. Was it Penn State Butler?
I believe it was.
I thought that was on. That was on the ESPN Plus.
I believe at the end of the Iowa game, Penn State Butler was on.
Oh, there you go. Louisville's 9 lives ran out to Kentucky. Louisville almost won that game so many times when they had no business doing that. What was Gundy doing? Down 24-6.
Coming back.
Came back in overtime. Well, that was a bad collapse. Georgia.
I mean, they're just getting ready for
sluggish, getting ready. Yeah. And the most remarkable stat line I saw was the snow game.
Oh,
in the
yes, Farmageddon.
At one point, I watched most of the second half there. At one point, a graphic popped up and said, Iowa State has run 2 plays in K-State territory. At that point, they already had the 42 points. So I checked the box score, and their average yards per play was like 17. They had like 6 touchdowns of 70 yards. It was
they had the 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Absolutely incredible. They were just – and then that final drive for K-State was just painful to watch.
Yeah, and it was so long.
It's just a slow death. They got like a nice penalty. They got fourth.
They had a couple penalty offense moments.
4th down conversion. Just it was like it was 39 every single series. They got penalty. They got one. It was just brutal. Notre Dame, Stanford, wonky. A backup quarterback ran a QB power for 55 yards. Notre Dame had 4 turnovers in the first half. Lots of kick 6. Estime ran for like 1,000,000 yards, and that's it.
All right. You mentioned Angeli threw a pick.
He did, yeah. He did. That was his audition.
Maybe in the bowl game.
Maybe in the bowl
You
game.
think? Do we think Sammy's going to play?
He'll be in the
probably,
senior
right?
Monday's presser, we were led to believe he is playing.
Yeah, he didn't have – I wouldn't say he had the in a losing effort, no game, no loss can be pointed at him. I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, all 3 could be pointed at him.
Definitely.
Well, the first, the
Ohio
second
State,
one, the Louisville one, he had like a
the
million.
Louisville game was him. Yeah, the Clemson game was just the offense in general. I guess no one could get open.
Yeah.
Ohio State game, you could point it at him, but he also was pretty good at. Yes, he had the
Between the 20s.
Yeah, between the 20s, he was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, underwhelming overall year as far as where expectation was after the first 4 games. But I think if you were honest with a preseason expectation, 9-3 was
Right.
kind of there.
The
But
first 4 games, everybody went wild over him.
it was skewed after the first 4 games where expectations got out of control and Kool-Aid was drank. But
Just like Coach Prime.
oh, so yeah. And luckily for Notre Dame, you might be able to do it all over again next year.
Wow.
Although, the scene's already getting set for week 1 with the A&M game. You got Elko in town facing his possible former quarterback with Wagaman come back.
Wow, I love it. They released the SEC schedule for next year. It looks amazing. It does look amazing. I will say. We hate realignment, but the schedule looks awesome.
Yeah. I just wish they had the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Alas.
Yeah.
Alas.
We move on to championship week.
Championship week.
I am fired up for the first game.
Every game on the slate. Let's fire through these and pick some champions.
Yep.
New Mexico State, Liberty. Liberty laying 10 here in Lynchburg.
Yep. I want to pick Kill outright here. I'm definitely taking him to cover. And I'm starting a grassroots movement. Jerry Kill, next Pitt head coach.
Oh, don't do it to yourself.
I've decided. I decided as they were beating Auburn at the wedding where I was intoxicated. I'm going to ride with it. You guys going to win games.
Phil can win games. I'll take Kill to cover.
You stenoing, Can?
I am. Dan and me with Kill covering, right?
I think they haven't played since, September.
This Kill team lost to UMass, though, so it's still not good. Doesn't count. I don't know.
I'm going to lay the points here with Liberty.
All right.
I know there's possible coaching circulation, but yeah.
Well, he's not going to Mississippi State, right? They hired
He
offensive coordinator from where again?
I don't know. I know they hired
Yeah,
somebody.
who did Mississippi State hire? The offensive coordinator from where?
From Oklahoma, Levy.
Oklahoma, yeah. I was joking. This game was briefly discussed at the Wednesday lunches I always have with some of my coworkers. I said, you got to be careful when you go down to Liberty. They'll chuck Bibles at you. So head on a swivel, Aggies.
Head on a swivel. Oh, game of the week here, Friday night.
Pac-12, Oregon, Washington. Line up from 2.5, up 2 from 7.5 last week.
I do not need to say anything about this game.
You do not. This is if there was ever the easiest pick for you, it's this one right here.
Yeah.
Hey, what? Where are you seeing this one end up?
Look, I've been drinking the Oregon Kool-Aid for the last month plus.
Yeah.
And I had two things, I guess you call it, unstoppable force meets immovable object. Two notes that were this yesterday. One of the notes was hypothetical spreads from Chrissy Andrews of Oregon versus the other teams in a playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're favored against Michigan and getting 2 against Georgia. I was like, wow, so they're pretty highly regarded in the desert.
Nobody
Then
would dispute that.
Then I saw a note on the defenses Oregon has faced this year as far as efficiency and adjusted for schedule, all that. And there might have been one in the top 60 or maybe even none.
Yeah, everybody was like, everybody's talking about Oregon's resume. Have you actually looked at it?
But you've looked at Oregon. That's the thing, right? It's like the old teams. You look at them and you're just like, yeah,
they look nice. They look good.
Yeah. So I think what I could do with that is go Oregon this week and then fade in the semis. And I also saw Washington, the post-game win expectancy this year, the numbers.
Oh.
Number one difference is Washington.
Oh.
Yeah.
Their post-game win expectancy was 8.4 wins.
That's what I was just going to guess, 8-4. Yeah. Like the Steelers.
Oh, man. The Steelers, they are the biggest LRO team out there, I feel like.
Don't go run and hide.
It's not going to run out anytime soon, I don't think, though.
Yeah. I'll have to find that note. Other teams up there. Florida State was up there. And I think a team in Happy Valley was too. Which is weird because I feel like they just dominate all the bad.
Yeah, they're always up.
Yeah, that was weird. That's a long way of saying I think I'm going to ride this Oregon train one more week. Like Washington, I want to say they'll figure it out, but they've been just flirting with this stuff for weeks, over a month, 6 weeks now. And Lanning is on a mission.
Yeah.
I might pull an about face in a month and say Oregon, the defensive metrics are going to opponent is going to catch up to them. But for this week, we're going to ride it one more time. Oregon by 14, maybe 16.
And your unstoppable force versus immovable object is the immovable object Washington because they don't lose.
You could substitute that, yes. It was based in the Oregon thing of the Oregon minus the
thing about Washington, and I know we're
defense.
We're already at 40 minutes. Ken hasn't even given his pick on this game yet, but I will add one thing. They have the guys to play with Oregon. They've done it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So that's the thing where it's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, they probably should have lost to Jed should they have lost to Jed? I can't remember. Definitely Arizona State.
They should have Stanford dropped the fourth down pass. That was perfectly called. And
then Wazoo was right there.
Listen, I think they play close games. I think my gut is saying Oregon, but I'm going to pick Washington here for the disrespect. People forget, or no, people don't forget, but I mean they won the first game. I think 9.5 points too much here. I'm still going to take Washington here. I think Roma Dunze, he's awesome. I think Penix is still good. And it's not like these guys forgot how to play football. I think it'll be a close game. I'll take the points here. But I will say my gut is saying Oregon. But I'm going against it, and I'm going with Washington.
What do we think the fan split is going to be like there?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm going to be – that'll be something to glance at whenever the opening – before the opening kickoff. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think it's going to matter either way. It's a neutral site, so
You got to think it's definitely cheaper to fly from Seattle to Vegas than it is Eugene to Vegas.
true.
How far away are they from each other? Is Eugene from Seattle? Would that be where they're flying out of, or is PDX where they're flying out of?
Oregon would fly out of
Portland.
the fans would probably fly to Portland. I think Eugene's what 2.
I like how you knew the Portland airport abbreviation can.
PDX, yeah.
It is, Portland is a very small city too.
Eugene to Seattle is a 4-hour drive.
Oh, I've driven from Portland to Seattle, and that is I forget.
Eugene to Portland is a 2-hour drive.
That's what I thought.
That's why they call him Grunge Yacina.
Grunge Yacina.
Yeah. Yeah, nice area up there. Where we go next?
We're going to Jerry World.
That was Friday. Now we're going to noon. Oklahoma State, Texas. I'm so you know who's second on this list of post-game win expectancy? Gundy. They're gross, but they're gonna muck it up just enough to cover this game.
14 point. Yeah, they're disgusting.
I'm going.
Points.
Yeah, this is.
I'm going Gundage.
I think it's a Russian roulette situation with Gundy. There is no clear. Like we obviously joked about the BC. Ken was speaking of. He was starting his own grassroots movement. Beat 9-3 BC, but Gundy is the funniest. Like when you look at this schedule in 5 years, it's gonna be hilarious.
And he won Coach of the Year after losing to USA 33 to whatever at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Over this coach that he's facing that went 11-1. Thank you, Brett Yormark, again for that. That's good. I just love the pettiness, the unabated petty. They don't care. They don't care that it's completely transparent. It's amazing.
Right.
And I think Gundage wins one for the big man, the conference, as both these guys are going away. I hope they win it.
Yep.
I don't think they will.
I am going Texas, and I'm laying the points. I hate to do it. This is my least favorite pick, maybe of the season, actually.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't easy picking Duke to win by 10 to 13 points last week, I'll admit it, but this is
even though you got it right, which is the important part.
Right, exactly, which is paramount. But I can't believe I'm doing it, but I got to do it. And then if Oklahoma State wins, I'll be like, yep, that checks out.
All right, let's go to Ford Field.
Where Penn State was.
Toledo laying 7.5 to Miami. Toledo won the regular season matchup 21-17 in Oxford, Miami.
And I think that was the game where Gabbert's brother got hurt, I believe. I could be wrong. I could have that mixed up, but
don't know.
I think it was a bad injury. I don't think he's going to be back.
Rather unimpressed with both these teams. Therefore, I'm taking the points. We're both playing close games with the rest of the conference.
Yeah, Miami, Ohio. Gabbert's brother. What were you going to say, Dan? Sorry.
No, I did take a look at some of the post because I did pay attention. We've got a inter-Nook feud, obviously with Ohio State, Michigan, but also Miami of Ohio, Toledo alums, both guys, and they'll be firing up the engines again this weekend. I am going to take Toledo, even though they, as AY is absolutely right about this. I just think the lack of QB for the Red Hawks not good.
I'm going Toledo. So wait, Dan, did you take the points or no? AY did.
No, I'm laying them with Toledo. Yeah, I have a lot of favorites in this. It was killing Washington to start, but I think.
Yeah. I just read a tweet. Number 3, Washington 9.5-point underdogs is the only the third undefeated top 5 team since 2005 to be a 7+ point underdog in the conference title game.
Wow.
You know who the other 2 are? Can you think of
Undefeated top 5 in a conference
title game?
title game.
Undefeated. That's the one where
Undefeated top 5 team since 2005 to be a 7-point underdog in the conference title game.
We're
I'd like to get
12
this.
games. Like
this seems like an attainable trivia question.
One of the Baylor teams. Were they undefeated?
No.
Iowa was never undefeated.
No, Iowa was
Wisconsin.
But Iowa was against Michigan State.
Yeah, they were undefeated, but I don't think they were.
They weren't.
digit
Yeah, they weren't this big of an underdog. I think they might have been a slight favor in that.
Maybe
Undefeated though. That is, and you said there's 2 of them.
There's two.
This is one where I'd have to be staring in the ceiling.
Yeah.
For a good.
Well, I don't think you'll get the second one. The second one, though,
because the top
want me to
5
give the
ranking
years?
is what.
Do you want me to give the years?
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't, but unless you give it to us, unless we think about this afterwards.
2008.
Wisconsin is one of them.
No, Wisconsin.
No, against Ohio State that year when they were undefeated.
No, I don't think Wisconsin was undefeated that year.
They were.
They were favored. No, Wisconsin was favored. Ohio State was not favored.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have to check.
That is
No, because they just talked about it. I listened to a podcast talk about it. How it was Pate talked about it. How they were slight underdogs coming into the Big Ten title game, and they won 59-0.
Man.
But 2008 is the first one.
All right. Well, that's Alabama, right, against Florida.
It is. It is Alabama against number 4
That was one
Florida.
of the ones I was contemplating. Yep.
It was 10-point underdogs. So 10-point underdogs to number 4 Florida. And for what it's worth, both of the favorites won straight up and against the spread.
Mm.
And the other one was in 2020.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
Well, it was
This one should be easy.
2020.
It's Notre Dame.
It was
It is Notre Dame. Notre Dame
Notre Dame
was
against Trevor
11.5-point underdogs.
See, that's the one. Yeah, that's the tough one right there.
The tough one. Yeah, that's what I didn't think you guys would get the second one.
Yeah.
That's the one I would have got that one more than likely, more before the Bama one. I remember the Bama game, but
Yeah.
I remember
Playing
where I
coffee.
was watching that game.
I didn't realize there were 10-point underdogs.
I did not know that either.
Yeah. Against the Tebow.
I need to check and see what that Wisconsin-Ohio State line. I cannot believe Wisconsin was favored in that game against
Let me
that.
see.
Ohio State team only had 1 loss, right? Or they have
They did.
2.
No, it had the one. Yeah, they went to win the title that year.
So they lost.
They
No,
lost. to Virginia Tech.
Kent, I'm talking about in 2017
Wait, what are you
because
talking
they
about?
lost to Oklahoma and they lost to Iowa that year.
Yes,
that was when
that's true.
Wisconsin was undefeated.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in 2014.
No. That Wisconsin team wasn't undefeated. Anyway.
UNLV boys.
Ohio State by 3.5 was the line in that game.
I thought it was 3. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about 2014.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Boise State.
I know I
UNLV,
picked Wisconsin
the
that
Mountain
year.
West.
That was the first year of the podcast. I know I picked Wisconsin that game, which was one of my old timers.
I'm going to go UNLV here. Boise State got rid of their coach. They're rudderless right now, so I'm going UNLV. Vernon Marion may get the head coaching, the top job at Arizona State.
What about at Penn State?
No, it sounds like they're taking the Kansas guy.
And Bean.
And Bean, maybe.
Yep.
Good QB depth.
I'm starting it, whether it has to be single-handed or not. I'm starting the Bean over Alar QB controversy. I will go. Boise's still favored this game, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's a rat line if I've ever seen one. So I'm going Boise.
Right. Boise, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, UNLV is a better team. Boise State here because that line stinks. Boise State shouldn't be here.
They shouldn't. They don't even have a coach.
They should have lost to San Jose State. No. Boise, for some reason.
Bama 6.5 in some books.
Yep.
It was fun. Rode the Bama train for a while. Who's that coming down the tracks?
Yep.
Georgia by
10.
10 or 11, yeah.
Yeah, 10 or yeah. I'm not going to go overboard here, but yeah,
31 to 20. I'm also going Georgia.
Maybe even a late Milrow pick, and then they punch it in, something like that.
But where were we in 2021 in this game? Thinking the same thing.
I'm trying to think of what I thought of that.
You picked Alabama though in that game.
I think I might have. I think you're right.
You definitely picked them in the SEC championship.
Did you say where were we? Because Dan and I were in Charlotte.
He said where were we?
We were watching that at
He said
a
where were we?
sardine can bar because Brian, local guide Brian, didn't quite have the lay of the land. Not to mention it was 17 steps from the stadium, so that's why I was.
Yeah, at one point we lost Dan's uncle.
Who could barely walk. The Swiss man.
Oh, Swissy.
Yeah. He might have been trying to score chicks. Who knows?
SMU Tulane. Tulane laying 3.5. This line's been all over the place, like a freaking.
Yeah, we talked about it in the pre-pod. Went up to
bouncing
6. Went up to 6 when Preston Stone was announced as the starter, and back down to 3.5 now.
So he is out, correct?
I'm taking Smoo here.
Okay.
Outright.
He is out though, Ken?
Stone is out, yes. Stone's out. Yeah, I got Smoo on the field for sure.
I had a crusade against Tulane last season. I remember I was clasping on for dear life my 2022 season predictions with UCF being the AAC champs, and they did lose fairly convincingly to Tulane. I won't make that mistake 2 years in a row, so I will go Green Wave.
This is Lane's best win of the year, I think, right? Against
Yeah, for sure. Certainly wasn't that Egg Bowl. Holy heck, was that an eyesore?
We did pull out we all pulled out the non-win that game. We all pushed.
That was unnoticeably absent from our recap. That game.
Gross.
All right. Troy, App State. Summerall doing a good job down there.
I have no interest in this game.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'll go Troy. to cover here.
Me too.
Yeah. I'll go Troy.
All right. You have no interest in this game. How about this game? How much interest do you have in this game?
Of course, I always have to put on for my city.
He puts on for a city, Indianapolis.
Yeah, which of these night games is going to get the big TV?
Basketball?
There's
UFC Austin. That's probably what I'll be watching. Score checking, because I don't know that either of these games are going to be entertaining.
I will take the points here, and I think Michigan. There may not be 23 points scored, so
okay.
I will go Michigan. I'm going Michigan here. I'm going Iowa here with the points. I'll go 24 to 3.
I'm going 28-3.
No, I'm going Michigan.
Okay, 28-3 for me. Michigan. To clarify.
Yeah.
But
I'll take the points. It's so gross, but Michigan go to undefeated 2 regular seasons in a row. Yes, but they gotta have like a little closer call at some point. I mean, Maryland, I guess. Ohio State.
Maryland, and then
nothing like serious. I mean, this isn't gonna be serious. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, give me 24-10. Maybe they pick off McCarthy. I don't know.
Okay.
Hold on to your butts with that one. Louisville, Florida State. Gross game. Look, FSU Michael's been just very not happy with
Things.
everyone just writing off FSU and potentially getting left out at 13-0. I think for his own good, I'm going to do this. Just lose this weekend so you know you're done.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Florida State by 21.
No.
That would have been the good friend thing to do.
Yes, but give me
Like just a
vote.
nice 27-7.
Yeah, but then you build up some hope for a month just to get curb stomped by.
You
But
felt
if,
that
as I
before.
said last week,
You've done
if
that.
they get
You've done that
Washington,
before.
if they draw Washington, then that's the thing. That's your TCU skeleton key.
Louisville.
I'm not
losing
trying to
last
talk you
weekend-
out of your pick.
No.
I'm certainly not picking 27-7 Knowles.
with Louisville losing last weekend. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to pick Plummer to win the ACC, but it's either him or Rodemaker. Like, what are we doing? Like Brian Brown.
I'm going with Jack the Snack. I'm going. Yeah.
Oh, he's doing it.
I'm picking the Ville.
Yeah.
I'm just happy the Ville didn't go 12-0 or 11-1. I did have that trash talk exchange with the Louisville fan that I said they're still going 8-4. And that was at halftime, by the way. But I really, really, really wanted to do the hedging P, so I'm going to do it and say Knowles by 1. 17-16.
So we're all on the Ville.
Yeah.
It would be if Florida State did win, Michigan won, Oregon won, and then Bama wins. Talk about a hot seat then. Talk about sweating it out to the playoff rankings.
Yep. And the nice thing will be they'll know what they have. They'll know their hand. Being that it's a evening kickoff, right? So that will and it's obviously nice for the coaching staff too. I don't know how much if they're just gonna if they have two game plans up their sleeves. Because I don't think there could be that I don't think they're that loaded towards okay, guys, we got to win by 30 because, like you said, there's going to be some discussions unless we do that. I just think it's in Florida State fans in terms of insufferability, perennial top 10. So it did pain me to say what I said last week about the football justice, the karma, whatever, and have them still go undefeated because they probably were going to if Jordan Travis didn't get hurt. And it wasn't like a situation where they were trying to, pump up his stats or anything like that. So I think there will be some. At least they'll go 13-0. We'll see where I am prepared for some bonage though.
I think there will be bonage as well, even if they're 13-0.
Yep.
That'd be crazy.
Because we have some time left here. Who can you conceivably 17-16 Knowles, right? Can you put in, we'll just start with the team that's not playing this weekend. Can you put in Ohio State over that?
No.
You cannot. Okay. So you're saying then both Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
What about Washington?
I think either one of the. I think Washington's definitely in over them, right? They're 13-0 at that point.
No, I'm saying so I'm saying Oregon and Washington, which is
I would
Oregon
take Oregon.
wins.
Yeah, I would take Oregon over them too. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Oregon and Washington. Just going through different permutations with some true bonage.
Oh,
Where they would
put both of them in?
Yeah, over. Just if the rest of all other things, like a scenario presents itself where you can take Washington at 12-1 with a win over Oregon already, or Florida State 13-0.
I don't think.
Let's say they lose by a field goal this time.
I don't think a 12-1 Washington goes in over them. No.
Okay. Well, then you're already. I guess would 11-1 or 12-1 Georgia be bonage even?
12-1 bone. I think it they would do it, but I don't think it would be incorrect either. But that's again just based on thinking that Georgia's a better team, which I'm sure they would say the same rationale.
Yep.
I don't think it's true bonage, but I think it would be bonage because it's an undefeated Power 5 conference champion.
Yeah. So you got. So let's say the likely scenario, you got Georgia. You got. I'll just put Oregon or Washington. I that has to be a playoff game. It has to be at least a playoff quarterfinal, right?
It is.
Yeah. I think winner goes in and the loser is out.
Yes.
You got Michigan, and then you're going to come down to 12-1 Texas potentially versus 13-0 Florida State, right?
Yeah.
Is that even bonage, though? Is that even bonage?
That is bonus just purely based on undefeated conference champion.
Okay.
Is Michigan's already in, right?
Yeah.
I can't even allow this to be asked. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, there's no way they lose. They can't can't lose. There's no way they lose.
But they're already in though.
Yeah, because they won't lose Iowa.
Put them in over. I'm sorry, you cannot put them in if they lose to Iowa. I
They
would say
won't.
no.
Don't worry, they won't. They won't.
I would say no. I would say they're not already in. And that,
They won't lose Iowa.
Within the context of them losing.
Within the context, they are not losing Iowa. This is not even a conversation.
They have 2 top 10 wins.
It won't happen.
They're not in. I'm sorry, you can't do that.
What
I
if
mean, but you would need they would need help.
what if they
I would say
lose?
it rules them out. You would need help, which is just hilarious to imagine.
If Michigan loses, what happens?
Then
Everything
Ann Arbor
becomes easy
becomes
here.
painted red with Louisville Cardinal gear.
Everything becomes easy for the committee here if Florida State loses to the Ville.
I don't think they are.
All right. Okay. Lock season.
Oh gosh, yeah. I am unprepared.
Well-
I mean, why? How could I end it any other way? I got to go Washington.
Washington, lock it up.
Speaking of which, did you guys see? I mean, this is this is prime college football sickos material. Did you see what happened in that Colorado State Hawaii game?
No.
I just saw.
I didn't either until the next morning. So that was obviously my final lock of the season, right? I was going for the perfect symmetry. Hawaii wins on a fast field goal as time expires, 52-yard or something like that. At the end of regulation. But Colorado State was down in the fourth quarter, 24-13. They go on 4th and 6 or something like that. They try and kick like a 55-yard field goal with 3.5 minutes left. They miss it, of course, because that's idiotic. Then Hawaii goes down.
They thought they were still at home in the altitude.
And they're like, Hawaii's down with like a minute and a half left. They try a 38-yard field goal. It gets blocked. So Colorado State is down 8. Yeah, so yeah, the 50-some-yard field goal would have made it 24-19. Excuse me. So they're already down 8. Colorado State gets the ball back, converts on 4th and 13, an 75-yard touchdown pass. They get the 2-point conversion to tie it, only for, again, Hawaii to go down and kick a field goal as time expired. No timeout. So they run the field goal team on the field and make it as time expires. That is fantastic.
That is fantastic.
The penultimate regular season game. Obviously, won't disrespect Army and Navy. I only disrespect Air Force by calling them Ass Force.
That's good. That's good.
On that note,
I
Washington.
mean, there's nothing. The board isn't that good here. I guess I'll lock Georgia up.
Okay.
If you didn't, I was going to, because one, after my stellar start, I am on a complete tailspin. And therefore, if I lock Georgia up and they ends up losing, that would create mass chaos for the committee, which would be hilarious. But so I have 8 to choose
Double
from.
barrel it.
Let's go. I don't want to anything to do with that Troy game, like you guys said. So I'm not even gonna pick that.
Take the Bill.
Well, no, that he's trying to do FSU Michael a solid by picking
Oh yeah.
and hoping Louisville
Yeah, I
wins.
just kind of wanted to.
He's been in a tailspin here.
Right. So by being in the tailspin, that maybe
It would,
I wish they would win. They'd be in, and then
he'd get the bonage
either bonage or pummeling.
or pummelage.
in
Yeah.
a month. I'm not sure what could be worse.
Oh, it's definitely the bonage. I think.
If at least to be over with, you want to have all Christmas to get excited.
AY knows the drill. He's gone through it 3 times.
Oh, the pot shot.
I wish I had gone through it. I
Me
wish
too.
I had.
Me too.
I wish I had felt the pain.
Yeah,
That's why I said
that's
the
what I
bonage is
say.
worse.
Better to love and lost than to never love at all.
Thank you. I get some of these shots from your buddy Devaney and some of these guys like, oh yeah, you get your butts whooped. We lost the national champion twice, and we were there. Screw you. We were there.
Better to have loved than
Yeah.
lost than to never.
We lost to freaking Trevor Lawrence's championship team. Like God.
Yeah. For 1 year, they were the best team of all time.
Until Burrow. I'm going. Oh, this is perfect way to end the year. It's so gross. I'm going Gundage.
Gundage.
Yeah, that's
Because
roulette.
It's still it's
That's
Texas.
roulette.
Like all the jokes, Texas back. This would be so Texas. Just lose
I would
this
love
game.
it. I would absolutely love it.
I really want Gundage to win.
So
That
do
would
I.
be
Give me all those points with Gundage.
that'd be fantastic.
Okay, there you have it. I was gonna throw on Army Navy. I didn't. I think we'll be back next week.
Well, either way, I think it's tradition to
Text-
just tweet out the Army Navy pick.
Or we tweet it. We exit out. We
Oh
exit
yeah, you're
out.
right. Yeah, exit out. Yeah, Army Navy will be there.
We usually exit out.
It's a low spread. Where's the game at this year? Is it Philly or Baltimore, New York?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. Not in Baltimore.
It's one of those.
Henry Kissinger died.
Mm.
Who?
Henry Kissinger at 100. Wow.
That's a good run. This is at in Massachusetts.
Oh,
that stadium. That's a first, I feel like, right?
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, if it was in Baltimore, I might text Roth and see if he wants to go again. But no, not going.
I still got to get to one of those. That's the one road game. It's just not a road game technically, but
Yeah, one of these. If they're in Baltimore next year, you can squad up with us. It was a lot of fun.
they played at the Rose Bowl before. What in hell? First time in Massachusetts for the game.
Okay, well, we'll be back in maybe take a week off. I don't know. We got to see when the schedules line up with the holidays and all million bowls. We'll talk about the edible Pop-Tart and all that's to come. So,
Excellent.
Yeah, for me, AY from Beautiful State Boost, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, to my west, Deberg,
All right, all.
and to my east, Ken.
Good night, all. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and stay warm out there as we make our way through the wonderful holiday season.
Thanks for listening. Take care and have a good one.